Hello, hello, and many merry coffee cheers of love to you, my caloric catamarans of seismic scoopage of sorbet waffle cone delights. I don't know. Coffee cheers to you. I hope you had an amazing Galentine's Day. And Valentine's Day, I am still in recovery mode from all the pasta carbs and sugar sweets, donuts, cookies, etc. Worth it. But lots of water and coffee intake today to cure myself of all the glory. We are here to talk about stories for today's weekly reading book review, February 2026, episode 3. So I'm going to show you the stories I read this week, what I'm currently reading, and some movies and something else I got to see this weekend. So coffee cheers to you, and here we go. The first book I finished, this was Hattie Mae Begins Again by Sharon G. Flake, was in the midst of this last week. This is a middle grade novel in verse about a black girl in historic Philadelphia, mid 20th century, the 1900s. That wasn't that long ago, but I guess it was to you youngsters. Anyway, and learning to be herself, even though she's from the country, among all these cities girls in the boarding school, and she found Hattie's helpers to help other girls have the same opportunity she has, and it was really well done. I'm in awe of people who can tell a story in just little snippets and poems, and it was great. So Hattie Mae Begins Again, out now from Sharon G. Flake, and Random House Kids sent me this copy to see if I liked it, and I did. So thank you so much, Random House Kids. Enjoyed that thoroughly. So great for your reluctant readers, and girl power and history through story is how I intake it the best. So yay. Okay. The next one I finished, something completely different. This is YA rom-com. This is Love It Full Tilt by the one and only Jenny L. Howe. My crayon boxers know I'm a big Jenny fan and Insta friend of hers, and have collaborated on a few different artsy things. One in particular that posted this month for one of her upcoming titles. Anyway, so this is so fun because she invented her very own, very immersive amusement park with all the things you wish Disney World was. Basically without the crowds and all these hidden corners and things to explore and do through their story. So she made up her own amusement park, the own lore, her own movies, and our girl here, I want to call her Ray. That's not Ray. It is Leah. Sorry. Ray's from the book I'm currently reading. Leah Baker meets a hot guy at orientation. Anyway, she won a spot to do a scavenger hunt. So it's a little tense because there's a countdown and more people get eliminated each day for the week. She's there with two of her friends who are off to college. She didn't get to go to college. And there's the whole thing with her parents and their furniture store. And she's the only child. And her mom has acute anxiety for where she is at all times. And, hot guy who's a local to Orlando where this amusement park is. So all the things. So much drama, all the YA teen feelings we still feel as grown-ups. And that was delightful. There was, I think, a little bit of cussing and very diverse, inclusive of all sexualities, and kissing, but no body parts. So there's your content warning and FYI for you. And yeah, it made me stressed because I do to have anxiety with the countdown and the clues and the mom and the texting and the whatever, but absolutely enjoyed, absolutely worth the read, Jenny's Love It Full Tilt, and go see her page for her upcoming book. It's how, I'm just going to tell you because she's announced it. It's How Not to Renovate a Haunted House, another YA, and I cannot wait. So love her, fat positive, body inclusivity, sex positive, etc. Love It Full Tilt. Cool. Okay, the next one I read, something completely different again. This is Much Ado About Nothing by the one and only William Shakespeare, the Bard. I do have my quote done. I'm still coloring it, and then I'll share that one with you. There were tons. I didn't mark them with flags yet, but there are oodles and boodles in here, and it's a great play to see live. Of course, we don't really agree with the wedding at the end, not Beatrice and Benedict, the other one. But what can you do? It's a story. So Much Ado About Nothing, comedy. Yay. Yeah, it's a comedy. People pretend to die, but no one really dies. And then I watched at half attention, so I didn't have to feel it, because sometimes you can only take so many feelings in a week. I did watch The Outsiders while I was doing things for my Patreons. This is hardcore. It's early 90s, but the boy club of very brief appearances by Tom Cruise, Emilio Estevez, Rob Lowe. I can't believe the guy who played Ponyboy isn't famous now. Maybe he is behind the scenes, but he was great. Heartbreaking, etc. But it's like West Side Stories, but without the dancing. Two gangs, two sides of town, people die, there's violence. It's sad. Yep. And then on Valentine's Day, I tried to take the whole day off. I mostly did, aside from putting the stickers that finally arrived in my Patreon's Howley Galentine's, and then finished both Nobody Wants This season 2 with my husband Nathan. It was so good. That writing on that show is amazing. I'm holding up Strictly Ballroom, but I'm talking about Nobody Wants This on Netflix with Adam Brody and Kristen Bell. It is so well written. The plot subverts expectations at every turn. The characters are amazingly acted and well fleshed out, and it's just so good. So you probably all watched it last year, but I am in love with that show. So well done. And yeah, looking forward to season 3 that's coming. This is all Netflix will tell us. Anyway, okay, so we'll finish season 2, the last few episodes of season 2 on Valentine's Day with the hubs. And then we watched Strictly Ballroom with my gal pal Ruthie lent me. And I watched and then got to rewatch with him. So it's very much in the vein of like Best in Show and Waiting for Guffman, but it's Australian, one of Baz Luhrmann's early film, if not his first film, about ballroom dancing. And it's a little bit 90s makeover, but not all the way, but cute guy, awkward girl, and ballroom dancing, competitive ballroom dancing. And they don't want him to do his fancy moves because they can't teach them, therefore they can't teach lessons, and so they try to kick him out, and it's a whole thing, but it's also funny and cute and sweet, and there's dancing and great music, and I love it, okay? Strictly Ballroom, very silly. Okay, and then yesterday, so many stories this week, guys, right? At the Children's Theater, South Carolina Children's Theater, right here in Greenville, South Carolina, they had a 2-person show of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. It was 45 minutes. I could wax eloquent. I'm gonna do a blog post about it because I'm also taking an adult acting class at the Children's Theater. Different story. But they did a Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, 45-minute presentation, 2-person cast. It was amazing. It was amazing. The lion mask, the how the actors changed personas, the storytelling circle, and again, the inclusivity of this theater is so great. They had mats on the floor so kids could wiggle and lay down on their belly or sit up. They just understand it's theater for kids, and it doesn't have to be a scary sit straight and tall, perfectly still thing, and it's just great. So anyway, highly recommend that show at the Children's Theater if you get to go. Classic, whether you know the story or not. Some parts were a little scary, but really well done. Okay, so cute. Okay, currently reading, trying to calm down. Impossible for me on a Monday morning. I'm so excited for all the things to do this week. Currently reading The Elsewhere Express by Samantha Sotto Yambao. You may remember last year, her Water Moon came out, beautiful, and we got to take off the dust cover jacket and make that little origami boat. For this one, okay, first let's admire the stained edges, all of those gorgeous suitcases in all the pretty happy colors, and I'm maybe a fourth of the way through. So the interactive thing about this gorgeous book, okay, see, cover, here's our naked jacket, right? I mean, gorgeous dust jacket, and then gorgeous naked cover. On the inside, we get to color it ourselves. So I'm so excited. I'm totally gonna do that. We'll see if I have the energy or time or wherewithal to film that for you. Do a little time lapse of me coloring, probably with glitter markers. So loving this. It is not a fast read in that it's very thoughtful. It's very beautifully written. There are lots of kooky rules. How you get on the Elsewhere Express is like you're on a subway and you're daydreaming, and all of those people's daydreams become the Elsewhere Express. And so we have 2 characters, and there's a trigger warning in the front because one of them is an artist who has degenerative loss of sight, and he's just gone fully blind. So he's really excited to be on the train, but our girl Ray here wants to get back to the real world. So very fascinating about, is life worth living, fantasy, etc. I don't know where it's going, but it's very calm, very peaceful, very fantastical. And the piece, the quote I just wrote down in my little quote journal was the last quote I read this morning before putting this on to talk to you guys about stories. Ideas and dreams aren't broken by hammers. They're shattered by worries and doubts. How beautiful is that? So it is fun because there are short chapters and there's like these pretty little interstitial train ticket pages. So it's not daunting. It's just a lot of fantastical, based in reality to take in. So it's like entering a dreamscape, and it's just great. So enjoying The Elsewhere Express, Samantha, Sotto, Yambao. Okay, cool. Also need to read this week for book club next week, The Correspondent by Virginia Evans. For book club this month, I wanted them to bring recommendations that were either told in letters or journal entries, like 84 Charing Cross Road or Catherine Called Birdie, etc. And this one is mostly letters. It's a woman who writes letters, and that's all I know. So it's also been at the top of the bestseller list for a while now. So looking forward to that one. Heard, again, it's an easy read because, a page-turning read because it's epistolary. Epistolary novel told in letters. So looking forward to that this week. I will also, continuing our Brush Up Your Shakespeare quest. Of course, we have moved from 2025 into 2026 with our alphabetical listings. And so Othello is next, after Much Ado About Nothing, talk about something completely different. And then Pericles, which is just weird. Did see a live performance at the Fine Arts Center a couple years ago, and that was weird. Also because they had the audience move around to different stages throughout this big black box theater, and it was strange. And there's pirates, and I don't know, it's weird. But first, Othello. Okay, that's all I got. Let me know what stories you're reading, loving, enjoying. I loved having a week to read books, illustrate quotes, illustrate paintings, and see live theater, watch some movies, which is like one of my greatest luxuries. Just to sit down and watch a movie. Love it. And yeah, all the good things. Okay, I will talk to you later. Much coming this week. And yeah, yay. Okay.